Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Malinga Sise of Urban Harvest Organic Farm. Today I want to talk to someone out there who have already made up their mind to do poultry farming, because I have quite a number of you who are telling me they are ready to do poultry farming. Most of you want to start in this new month coming, and that's why I said today let me talk to you about the type of bird you're going to do. Well, in poultry farming we have a variety of birds you can do. We have the ornamental birds, we have the broilers, we have the layers, which I have, you can see at the background. We have the turkeys, we have the ducks, we have the local chicken, but today I'm going to pick basically two types of birds, and that is the broilers and the layers. Well, I've done these two, and that's why I'm going to base on them. About the local chicken, the ducks and turkeys, those ones I've just started on them, and I don't want to talk much about them. Time will come, I'll also bring them into this channel. So today I want to talk about broilers and layers. Well, basically I started also with broilers, but my initial interest was in layers. But along the way, as I was planning to start my layer farm, I bumped into friends who were doing broilers, and that is how they changed my mind to start doing broilers. So today I want to talk to someone out there basing on my own experience of these two projects, because these are two different birds. I know most of you have heard about these birds before, but I also have my own version of the story about these two birds. But if you're still new, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be so grateful. So let's go back to our topic of the day. We are going to look at broilers and layers. And what are broilers? Broilers, these are birds basically which are reared for meat consumption, and it is always from day 1 to week 6. But of recent, I have got friends who are rearing it up to 2 months, up to 8 weeks, some even up to 10 weeks. So that is basically what broilers is about. And what about layers? Layers, these are birds basically reared for egg production. So if you look at my farm, we have layers which are I'm preparing them to start laying eggs. So let's look at some of the comparison between broilers and layers, and that will help you make the right decision about which bird you're going to do as you plan to start this poultry farming. As you plan to do this project with layers, you must know that you must be patient enough. These are birds that you will get from day 1, and you will stay with them for close to 6 months when they have not yet started laying. I said close to 6 months when they have not yet started laying. And even after them starting to lay, you have to give them a period of at least 2 months for all of them to start laying, because when they start laying, all the birds will not start laying at once. You like today you collect 1, you get 2 eggs, tomorrow 3, so it continues like that. Like for a period of 2 months, that is when you give them that time for all the birds to start laying, and for you to start getting some money, and then for you to start even buying feeds and remaining with some profits. So basically with layers, you need to be patient enough for you to start reaping. But with broilers, you bring the bird only within, like mine, I used to sell them within 3 weeks, because I was feeding them on basically pellets, only pellets. So with the pellets, if you're feeding your broilers with pellets only and you're giving them enough feeds, within 3 weeks the birds are already very big and you're able to sell the birds. But if you look at layers, you give it some time, and you have to be patient enough to wait for the money to come out of it. So basically broilers is quick money, and layers you need to be patient enough. With broilers, you have to do enough market research before you start the project, because I want to be honest, not everyone consumes broiler meat. Unlike the eggs is eaten everywhere, so you can start your layer farm without even any market research. You're rest assured you will get the market for those eggs. But for broilers, you first have to do enough market research. Where will I sell my broilers? Who will buy the broilers? So those are some of the differences between broilers and layers. And then with the layer farm, you can set it anywhere. You can even set it in a rural area. But with a broiler farm, it is very tricky when you set it in a rural area, because in that rural area, who will buy your broilers? So at least it should be a bit near to an urban center, because it is these urban people who always consume this broiler meat, because it is always consumed like when it is deep fried or it is roasted. But deep in the village there, those people, they don't know those things of frying, roasting. They only know about boiling. And if you give them a broiler meat, they will, they have different saying about these broilers. So it is a bit tricky for you to set up your broiler farm somewhere deep in the village compared to setting up a layer farm in the village. You must be very careful where you're setting the broiler farm, because you will end up setting the farm deep in the village and you fail to get people to buy your broilers. And then another differences that I've seen between broilers and layers is that if you've made up your mind to do layers, it is not a lazy man's project. It is for someone who is active, who is willing to work. Because with the layers, we have so many activities that take place in the layer farm. First of all, we have vaccinations. We have debaking. You've seen I've been debaking some days ago. We have collecting of eggs after when they start laying. We have cleaning their house. You have to keep cleaning the house. Now, like you can see, my house is full of feathers, and I'm continuously picking the feathers, and they cannot get done. So if someone who is lazy, who cannot tolerate all that work, please, then you don't qualify to do these layers. But unlike broilers, I did broilers. I remember I had like 3 flocks of broilers, 3 or 4 flocks of broilers. But I remember only vaccinating my birds once. Every flock that I brought, I used to only vaccinate once, because for me, I was sure that within 3 weeks, I'm selling off the broilers. Because the other pellets, if you feed with your birds, wow, the birds will be very, very big. Within a short time, from 2 weeks and a half, the bird is 1 kilogram plus. So within 3 weeks, I used to sell off the broilers. So issues of vaccination was not there. The baking was not there. Continuously picking the feathers was not there. So those are some of the differences. And then another comparison that I've seen is with the layers, you need enough capital to begin. The beginning capital is a bit huge compared to broilers, because with the layers, there are so many things involved for you to bring up a layer bird until it starts laying. First of all, vaccinating them, that is all money. Debaking them, that's still a lot of work and a lot of money, because those debaking scissors are not cheap. Then we have putting for them laying boxes. Those are all expenses. And even the house alone should be well ventilated, should be large enough for the birds. So it takes a lot of space for you to start a layer farm. But for broilers, the money that you need to start a broiler farm is not very, very much. First of all, they take a very little space. Secondly, all this kind of medication is not there in broilers. Now, like for me, I used to only vaccinate my broiler farm birds only once in their lifetime, because by week 3 could find when I'm selling off the birds. Even up at week 4 still, my birds used not to fall sick. I never had any case of Newcastle or Gomboro in my broiler farm. So with the broilers, you don't need a lot of money to start, but layers, you really need a lot of money to begin. Then, according to my experience, with the layers, you get double profit. What do I mean by getting double profit? Well, when these birds start laying, first of all, you will get money from the eggs that they are laying. Then another thing, when you're laying them off, that is also another money that you will get. And then another money also comes from their manure. Manure from layer farms are like hotcake in the market. Everyone wants the manure from the layer farm. So, and our bag costs a lot of money. So that is all profits that you, a farmer, will get. But with the broilers, you guys, I used to suffer with my broiler manure. No one could accept to buy them. First of all, they used to be too wet, too smelly, because these birds their dropping is too much. too much, a bird will just lie down there while feeding and is busy dropping at the behind. Actually, their feeders are not put like for layers whereby you raise them up. For the broilers, the feeders are always down and the bird is busy eating, lying down, eating, and while they're busy passing out the poop. So their house is always very wet and having a very bad smell. And in that way, these farmers do not accept to buy the manure from the broiler farm. They complain a lot that it is not yet decomposed, so they prefer for the layers. So with the layers, to me, I find that a farmer gets double profit from the project compared from the broilers. And then with the layers, once they start laying, you rest from these other burdens of brooding, unlike with the broilers, you after every 6 weeks, you have to be brooding. After every 6 weeks, you have to be brooding. But for layers, you will bring the birds, brood them for the 1 month, and they will stay for all those months laying eggs. From there, you're just busy enjoying collecting your eggs and getting your profits. But for the broilers, once you sell them off, you will again have to bring them and start brooding them afresh. And yet it is this brooding that most farmers fear. So with the layers, for me, I'm more comfortable with it compared to the broilers. So for today, that's all I had for you. So someone who is planning to do this project, you are able to decide which one you want to start with. Don't just bump into Sise teaching people on YouTube about layers and you just bumped into it that you want to do layers. First, understand it very well. See your location very well. See the capital you have, because with these birds, in fact, all of them will not bargain with you that today there is no money, we can stay without feeding. They will have to feed. So if you know your pocket is enough to start layers, please, it is a very good project. And if you know that you can start with broilers, you can toil with the brooding every 6 weeks, please, it is also a very good venture. I don't want to decide for you. I don't want to discourage you. You do what your heart feels like doing, and in that way you will do it perfectly well. So if you're still new, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I will be so grateful. See you next time. May God bless all of you. Bye bye.